If your FYP is anything like mine, you've seen this book, Fairydale by Veronica Lancet, everywhere, recommended by your mutuals and people you follow as a gothic horror romance with paranormal aspects that has a love story unlike anything they've ever read. And I just finished it. This book is just over 700 pages with literally some of the smallest font I've ever seen. I saw someone compare it to like Bible font, and it really is. I ended up reading it on my Kindle, and this was like a shelf trophy. It took me 4 days with like other stuff going on to read it, and I went through so many emotions when reading this book. If you've read A Study in Drowning by Ava Reed, lots of things about this town of Fairydale and like certain people remind me of elements of this book, but it's truly unlike anything I've ever read. But is it a new favorite? Did I rate it 5 or 6 stars? No. My curiosity has definitely piqued to other things that Veronica Lancet has written. I downloaded the first book in her new series called Barbie and the Villain, which sounds right up my alley as a bookworm who would love to be brought into a fictional world. I do think this book was a bit too long and it could have used an editor. I'm also just kind of like a petty person, and there's an author's note in the beginning where she says not to skim anything, every detail matters. And I was like, be so for real. This book starts off in the 1950s. It seems like it's going to be a contemporary mystery, but it is so much more than that. There are ultimately 3 different timelines, and the characters will keep you guessing. I've also seen people say it's a slow burn romance, and in the length of the book it is, because I don't think any like spicy scenes happen till about 50% through. But with each timeline and each iteration, the connection between the couples is very instantaneous and instant loving. You'll find the word mates thrown about in this book a lot of times. So just go into that knowing if you like a true slow burn, it's not in that way. As someone who prefers a third-person narrative, I found myself really annoyed being in our main character's head all of the time. That could just be a me problem. I did see someone kind of compare it to like Poppy from Blood and Ash, and they were like, if you think Poppy was bad, wait till you meet this girl. And I have to agree. I gave it 4 stars on Goodreads. Do you have mixed feelings about that? Like it was definitely between like a 3.5 and a 4 star for me. But again, glad I read it, and will be reading more by Veronica Lancet.